When Natalie saw him, she was so shocked that her lips parted slightly and she didn't know what to say. His stature was tall and straight, and his entire body emitted an indescribable aura that filled those around him with awe. While everyone was whispering and trying to guess who he was, Mr. Walker's face changed dramatically.
Mr. Clare, I never expected to meet you here.
Tom couldn't believe his ears. So this was Bryce Clare, the man who had control of the city's economy and who could shake up financial circles with the snap of his fingers. He hadn't expected him to be so young. Liam, who had been standing in the corner, excitedly ran over to Bryce and hugged his calves.
"Daddy, you're here!"
he shouted.
Daddy? Is he Bryce Clare's son?
Tom felt like he had been struck by lightning when he heard this. She didn't know how to answer, so she just pursed her lips slightly and turned to look at Bryce. Bryce bent down without hesitation and hugged Liam. Then he caressed Natalie's face and laughed softly.
Didn't you say we would come here together? How come you left without waiting for me?
Her face flushed red as she tried to turn away. For a moment, she was unable to say a word. Tom could only stand there helpless. He was about to say something, but Bryce interrupted him. Holding the child in one hand and Natalie's shoulder in the other, he said,
"Let's go sit over there for a while."
With that, he left Tom and took the other two with him. When they reached a quiet corner where nobody was paying attention to them, Natalie finally broke free from his arm. "Why did you help me?"
Of course, I didn't want to help you.
After a while, she reached for Liam and snatched him back. She pulled him away from Bryce and looked at him cautiously. Seeing her black eyes looking at the boy like she had to protect him, Bryce couldn't help but laugh. He leaned in again and whispered into her ear,
"Don't be nervous. People I want never get away. Just be good and wait for me here."
After he said this, he turned and walked away, leaving her with the child in her arms and her heart beating erratically.
"Mommy, where is Daddy going?"
Natalie touched his head. She smiled helplessly and was about to remind him again that that wasn't his dad. But when she raised her head, she saw Cheryl walking slowly toward her. "What are you doing here?" Cheryl immediately played innocent and lightly tugged her arm. "I don't need a reason. I was just afraid that my sister was bored, and so I came over to chat." "Natalie, you don't know this, but I actually used to envy you." Seeing that Natalie wasn't paying attention to her, Cheryl pouted and continued sadly. "Ever since I was young, Dad was always with you, while Mom and I lived in that rented apartment. I was really envious of you. I even wanted to snatch Dad and Nick away from you. But you know, big sis, Nick was really loyal to you. He only wanted to be with you, which is why I made you hurt me, so that I could get his attention, so that he would care for me. In the first year after you went abroad, he was in turmoil, but by helping him through the most difficult days of his life and letting him see my strengths, he slowly started to develop feelings for me." "Have you finished? I'm not interested in listening to your emotional story, nor do I have time to watch you brag." "He doesn't know about your past, does he?" Cheryl had a face full of mischief. She tapped her chin with her finger and casually picked up a glass of wine from a server beside her. "If he knew that you still had feelings for your little sister's fiancé, how would he react?" She thrust the wine into Natalie's hands and pushed her away with a frown. Then she smirked and threw herself to the ground. With her hair in a mess around her head, she cried, "Sister, you already have Bryce. Why are you still thinking about Nick?" She purposely raised her voice to attract the attention of all the guests in the hall. "Do you still blame me for getting together with him? But he caught you cheating. You broke his heart first. How can you still—" She did not finish her sentence, but she had already said enough to put all the blame on Natalie. The surrounding guests looked at the stunned Natalie, who felt her head buzzing and her temples throbbing. Seeing Cheryl kneeling on the ground in a very sorry state, Nick squeezed through the crowd, pulled her into his arms, and roared fiercely,
"Natalie, why are you like this?"
Even Tom leaned towards her and reprimanded her.
"How could I have a daughter with such a vicious heart?"
The endless scolding made her head spin. Liam shouted at Cheryl, who was still on the ground.
You're lying!
Natalie felt unbearable pain in her chest. She tried her best to support herself, but her vision went dark again. Losing her balance, she fell backward. But instead of hitting the cold tiled floor, she fell into a warm embrace. Bryce caught her tightly in his arms and looked up at Cheryl with a cold gaze as she was helped to her feet. Seeing his stare, Cheryl panicked and started to act pitifully. Mr. Clare, don't blame me. My sister grew up with Nick after all.
Your sister had a bad taste in the past, but that's over now. With me here, why would she want any other man?
He did not react to Cheryl's stupefied expression. Instead, he picked up Liam with one arm and hugged the unconscious Natalie close to him.
Hi, I am Natalie. Want to know my story? Then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of The Return Now.